On the go? So are we. Get the IBJ Media app, your all-in-one news source for Indiana business news. Get breaking news alerts, read every story from IBJ, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Lawyer, and listen to your favorite podcasts all in one place. Big news, small screen. Search IBJ Media and download the app today.
Kristen, Dane. This episode of the Pete the Planner Show is brought to you by myindiana529.com. So go there now, myindiana529.com. Kristen and Dame and special guest Elisabeth Edwards, I want you all to know that this week when on the road, I made a horrendous discovery. Dame, have you ever done hotel math?
Ooh, no.
Okay, here's the thing. When you're a road warrior, like I am, I realize that you're forced to check in at 4 p.m. and you're forced to check out at 11 a.m. That's not a full day. Like you're getting charged full rate for not a full day. And if you think about it for a second, you're basically just sleeping there and you're not enjoying any of the other amenities because you got to be in and out so fast. And this bothers me.
Pete, when was the last time you enjoyed other amenities in the hotel?
That's a you know what? Kristen, Dame and I apparently just met. I'm Mr. Amenities at a hotel. Number one, I'm hitting that gym.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Number two, if time permits and there is a nice enough a hotel and there's a little bit of a spa, I will go and slide on a rope and have a stranger rub me for dollars. And then room service is like the pro move. When you're late on a flight, you're going to have a burger of the city and sit there and watch the world burn on CNN. So I do enjoy amenities.
See, I was thinking pool.
Oh God, no! What? I mean,
Yeah, that's where my mind was like, there's no way Pete's enjoying amenities.
yeah, I don't love staph infections, you know. And by the way, Elisabeth Edwards joined us. Elisabeth, hello.
Hello.
Guys, some notes about Elisabeth. I've prepared she has a very extensive bio. She is a well-respected family planning attorney based in Indianapolis, but there's more important things you actually need to know about her. First off, Elisabeth is spelled with an S as opposed to a Z. And this is important, Kristen, because I did a little bit of research.
Okay.
Only 2.5% of Elisabeths in America name are spelled with an S instead of a Z. Did you know that, Kristen?
Elisabeth, by research, he means chat.
Yes. Elisabeth, did you know that?
I didn't, but that makes sense because I've been spelling it for everyone every week of my life since birth.
Do you know why the folks chose the S for you and not the Z?
I don't. It just I just thought lately I'm like, that was cute. Thanks, Mom.
Elisabeth was one of the first people I met at Hanover College in the summer of 1996 when I was matriculating there as a college freshman. She was a what are you like a orientation counselor? What were you there?
I think they called it a peer advisor.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm honored that at one point we were considered peers. Like I never thought I would at that level with you. Dame, you've been to college, and when you're a freshman and you know nothing and you're a little bit scared, but you're not going to tell anyone because of masculine issues in our country. I met Elisabeth first, and she was smart and she was funny, and I was like, well, this is going to be okay. And so that is my basis of my relationship with Elisabeth. I've known her for a long time. Her boyfriend at the time, now husband, was a football teammate of mine, also a ginger wide receiver. And we've kept up over the years. She was sorority sisters with my wife. So there's lots of connections here in the world. So Elisabeth is going to walk us through today money and marriage, prenups, what goes on during the marriage, and then, Dame, what if there's a relationship transition in the end? She'll walk us through that as well. For those that are wondering how our life has been since the last episode of this show, You tell me, Kristen, how'd it go this week after the hot takes episode?
Better for me than for you guys, I guess.
Well, Dame, here's my philosophy. And I actually got angry at you guys yesterday. I didn't tell you. I specifically did not read the comments from last week's show. And then you're sending me the comments from last week's show.
Just the funny ones. I didn't tell you the mean things people said.
Wait, there's mean things? I thought the funny ones were mean. Don't say them. I don't
I'm
have
not. I didn't.
Fragile ego. Lots of great emails. Thank you everyone for emailed askpete@petetheplanner.com to disagree, to have some discourse. Like what you didn't say is, I disagree with you, I want you to die. You just said I disagree with you, which I appreciate in 2026. We posted a lot on TikTok this week, and Dame, I have learned that people who consume TikTok do not like us.
Is it us or just the things that we say?
What's the difference?
Elisabeth, are you a consumer of short form video?
I am, but usually because I'm I'm one of the younger Gen Xers, I typically wait for TikTok reels to get put on Instagram before I consume.
That is so true. What I've learned this week is who consumes Instagram versus YouTube Shorts versus TikTok. Very different audiences. Anyway, intern update. Should have one soon. I'm liking what I'm seeing, so I'll keep you guys updated there. Anything else? Any sort of a housekeeping items? And now I've said housekeeping twice, which means I've got a very poor vocabulary. Chris, anything else we want to do there? And I don't know why I'm saying housekeeping and then going to my female co-host. So I just don't want people to feel like that is a gendered thing.
Clip
just
that for social.
No, I would never clip that for social. My daughter is texting me during the show. What is she saying?
Boy.
My friend is connecting with you on LinkedIn. I feel like I have to disclose that. We've got an attorney on the line. Elisabeth, I know you are not like a child's rights attorney per se. Should I be connecting with minors on social media?
I feel like if you do, LinkedIn is the safest place because to me, it just looks like I want a job. So yeah, that's probably okay.
Yeah.
Does she want to be an intern? He or she want to be an intern?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna text her back like, "Hey, connect with me on Roblox." Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna do that.
Or connect with you on Geometry Dash or something.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing. The music of Geometry Dash is intense. Dame, are the teens in your house on the Geometry Dash?
Geometry is in between where they are both at this point. So we've one's gone through it, one will still yet to go through.
Kristen, that lazy baby of yours, any Geometry Dash?
No, not yet. Any day though.
Oh, I doubt it. All right, so let's do the show. I had one other thing that I thought was mildly interesting. I don't know. We'll get there. All right. Elisabeth, is there anything I shouldn't ask you? Or is it me asking you what I shouldn't ask you while we're on air? Does that defeat the purpose of the question?
Well, it kind of does. But no, I can't think of anything offhand.
Stop.
All right. We'll keep it cool. All right. Here we go. Kind of getting organized. Oh, Dame, go figure. I got to grab my clock here.
Your calculator?
Grab your fourth device to keep time.
I may have a special announcement later in the show.
Oh?
I've only told one person, so I haven't decided if I'm going to tell anybody yet.
Thanks.
So might as well tell tens of thousands at once. I told Molly this morning, but I don't know. Okay.
He's going to hot Pilates 3 times a week instead of 2.
Now, I have a Pilates update for you next break. In 3, 2, 1. This week on the Pete the Planner Show, we answer your money questions. Here's how the show works. You email us, askpete@petetheplanner.com. That's askpete@petetheplanner.com, and we will answer your questions. Sometimes you will use that email address to comment on the show you're listening to right now, like many of you did last week on our Hot Takes episode. Thanks so much for doing that. Joining me, as always, is Kristen Elanius. Hello, Kristen.
Hello, Pete.
And Damian Dunn, no relation whatsoever. Hello.
Good day.
Special guest on the show this entire week. the founding attorney of Wanzer Edwards, a law firm, Elisabeth Edwards. Elisabeth, hello.
Hello.
Good to be with you. So we are talking money in marriage, before the marriage, during the marriage, and after the marriage has expired. When you're sitting across from a family, do you ever just like break it down for them that way, Elisabeth, and say, hey, look, this is not a divorce. Your relationship expired. You ever say that?
No, but I think I might. I like that.
So Dame last week on the show made the assertion that everyone should have a prenuptial agreement. We want prenup. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What say you?
The farther I get into this career, I'm totally there. Absolutely.
So there's this idea that people insure everything, but they don't insure their marriage. Would you consider a prenuptial agreement a level or a form of insurance?
I think that's a great way to put it. I mean, we think about what will happen. If you think about it, every marriage will end in two ways, or one of two ways: divorce or death.
Oh, this is uplifting.
And we plan for death in many ways. There's also statutory allowances that a spouse can get under Indiana law if you don't have a will, for example. But we don't think about what happens if we get divorced. And when we consider that currently 40 to 43% of all first-time marriages end in divorce, the divorce rate has gone down, but that's also because A, fewer people are getting married, and B, people are getting married later.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so do you think it's that culture previously, maybe living together was more taboo than it is now? Is that why people are not getting married? They're just living together?
Absolutely. Because I remember my mother, God bless her, still says, oh, well, she's got a live-in, right? Like said as a slur, a live-in. So yeah, no, I totally agree that is 100%, that it was very taboo at one time. And now it's like, we're just not mingling our money. We're doing what makes sense for us.
So I remember growing up, just being younger, like living together. Well, if you live together 5 or more years, you're married by common law or 10, whatever it was. Is that actually a thing?
That could be a thing in other states, but not in Indiana. It is not. I will say it is more difficult if you do live with someone and then you start owning property together, particularly a spouse, because then you don't have as easy of a mechanism to untangle yourselves. You have to file an action in partition, and that's a whole nother ball of wax. Proving who paid what, how's it titled, all of that. So it does make it harder to unwind if you are not married. But yes. There's nothing granting you any access to the other person's property or debts if you're just living together.
So here's what I want to understand, because we should probably have said this at the beginning. Elisabeth, you're not giving specific legal advice today, correct?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Generally.
Now, my daughter and her friends are joining us on LinkedIn Live, watching this at school. Get off your mobile devices. Have you not read state law?
Exactly. Bell to bell. Bell to bell.
Yeah, bell to bell. Let's just lock in on whatever it is people know. What does a prenup actually do versus what does a prenup not do? Where does it end?
Well, a prenup covers all property and all debts. Well, it can. It usually does not cover any child-related issues, right? Because I can't contract a way to not pay my child support. I can't contract away my custody rights necessarily, because it's what's in the child's best interest. A prenup can also talk about, well, if we got divorced, you will pay me X, or here's how we're going to pay our bills. A prenup can also include what happens at the time of death, right? And of course, you would need to, belt and suspenders, align your will to, refer back to the prenup to lock it in. But yes, it's all money and how we're going to treat money during our marriage.
Kristen, you are younger than Dame and I by 46 years by my last count.
Ish, yeah.
So maybe you've been socialized differently than Dame and I of like what a prenup meant for us when we were, I don't know, your age and younger. What is sort of your connotation or your concept of a prenup? Is it standard? Is it a little bit strange? Is it what is it to you?
I think it's a little bit strange. Not for me personally. I think I have to think outside of my own like biases and exposures, and we deal in this space a lot in our 9-to-5s. So I would say definitely more socially acceptable than a previous generation. But something I brought up last week on the show that I think holds true, and I'm curious, Elisabeth, of your perspective, is it's that switch generationally or within a family that suddenly someone thinks that they need a prenup or someone should sign a prenup. And when no one else ever has, that point of friction is really a challenge.
I see it more. I think when I started my career, prenups came from parents pressing them on their children, more about talking about family wealth, inheritance, family businesses to try to protect that legacy. But I see more now, especially, again, when you consider people are getting married later. So quite possibly they're going to have equity in a home, maybe a retirement account. Those are the top two things I think that people want to try to protect. But secondly, when people do get married again later, the first thing I tell people getting done with a divorce is, hey, if you're going to get married again, please come see me about a prenup. And they all say, I'm never getting married again. And then I've now been doing this long enough that I'm getting repeat offenders. And I say this laughingly, like, do you need a punch card, right? Ha ha ha. But also, don't make me fight for the same assets twice for you. I mean, I will, and I do, but I hate that for you. I hate that for you.
I've never thought that I've never considered this idea that when people got married younger, maybe the impetus for a prenup was the parents insisting, because maybe they see the young suitor and the young suitor is wild, red-headed and has a receding hairline, not a lot of other great qualities. And so the parents are like, yeah, maybe that guy needs a prenup. But what you're saying now is like, people do have something to lose. They do have 8 years of the 401k contributions. They do have that little bungalow in the midtown that they want to protect. So that is culturally different. Dame, had you considered that, as someone who doesn't use the phrase "my 9-to-5"? Have you considered that?
No, I think you and I feel pretty similarly about this, and what it just felt like as we were growing up, and when the word prenup was even mentioned. And now our financial lives are complicated, and people are much more either in tune or paying attention with what's going on. So prenups, I think, in general, are just more common.
Kristen, I'm just jealous because I can't use cool phrases like that. So no offense.
You don't have a 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5?
I do. Anyway, Elisabeth, here, 30 seconds left in this segment. When's the right time to bring up a prenuptial agreement?
Ideally, I'd love for you to come see me 6 months before you're planning a wedding, because that gives us time for everybody to get an attorney, for us to go back and forth, make revisions, get a full financial picture, and then not be stressing out the day of the rehearsal dinner. I've had a case where that happened, and it was, I tried to get it done, but when it happens, it happens.
Well, coming up after the break, more on relationships and money right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner.
Celebrate 529 with a chance to boost your little Hoosier's future. Enter the 529-day Big Futures Sweepstakes from Indiana 529 for a chance to win $529 toward your child's education savings. 20 families will win this May. Enter at indiana529direct.com/529day by May 28th, 2026. No purchase necessary. Terms and conditions apply. Void where prohibited. Please read the disclosure booklet carefully before investing.
Elisabeth, how much did Kanye West do for prenups with We Want Prenup?
Tremendous. Although if you listen to the rest of the song, he's talking about a child and paying child support and then finding out it's not his, which has nothing to do with the prenup. Oh. But absolutely, I think prenup, We Want Prenup, that's absolutely entered the vernacular.
Dame has a secret Bumble profile, and within the description of who he is as a man, he does mention prenup. I got to assume on dating apps, prenup's not the way to go.
I think honesty is the best policy.
Well, I should try that sometime.
So yeah, absolutely. Let's go in eyes wide open.
All right. So far, we're throwing the ball down the middle of the plate for you. We're not we're not throwing you with anything, getting you in trouble. Is that fair, Elizabeth?
That's absolutely fair.
Kristen, I saw a few facial moves from you during that segment. Your face always tells the story.
I know. It's so honest.
It really is. Kristen sat in her first board meeting with us this week at Your Money Line.
I tried so hard to keep it under control.
I did not make eye contact. You were seated next to me, so it would have been super weird for me just to turn and stare at the side of the head like Dame does on domestic flights. He stares at the people next to him. But yeah, you did a great job, Kristen. First time, it's always can be a little intimidating. I thought you did really well.
Thank you. I really was most worried about my face, so.
I'll leave that. Dame, are you ready for the next one here? I think we can probably wrap prenups. If Elizabeth, is there anything else you feel like you want to say about prenups?
I just want to do another little plug, especially if folks have gotten a divorce. Statistically speaking, the more times you get married, the percentage of likelihood of divorce goes up, right? So for a second marriage, it's in the 60 to 67% range. For a third marriage, it's in the 70 to 74% range. So again, please don't, everyone thinks, oh, this next one is the one. You're right. I finally, that was just a starter husband, right? This one's the one. Just please protect what we fought for in your divorce, and because again, I would love to be able to not have to tell you, yep, I know you had that from your first divorce, but it's all in the mix again.
Yeah. All right. I love that. That's where the punch card comes in. All right. Let's get back to the segment. This one is 9 minutes and 23 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show, talking pre-marriage money and relationships, marriage money and relationships, and then post-marriage money and relationships in the form of legal protection, in the form of prenups, divorce settlements, all these sorts of things. Long-time friend of mine, Elisabeth Edwards from Wanzer Edwards, joins us. Elisabeth, wrapping up prenups here for a second, which we hit in the first segment. If anyone missed it, please just go listen to the Pete the Planner podcast wherever you find podcasts, or if you want to see it in just little drabs, go to TikTok and make fun of us like the rest of Gen Z. Elisabeth, I don't have a prenuptial agreement. I had no property. I had nothing when my wife and I got married. Our anniversary is this July, our 26-year anniversary. Light dinner conversation, post-nup, like how do like they're important, but like would anyone midstream go in and be like, can we talk about this? Does that make any sense, or does that not make any sense?
It usually only comes up when some negative seminal event occurs, right? When it's like, oh, I've just found out you've been gambling, right? Or I just like we have a major money disagreement. Maybe somebody discovers there's a bunch of debt, or there's accounts they didn't know about. So usually it doesn't happen when things are going well, which is maybe when it should, right? Because that might be the best time. But yes, we normally see it when it's like, we don't want to get divorced, so in exchange we'll do this other thing, which is the post-nup.
I didn't necessarily want to do where the dead bodies are buried on the show this week, but you see a lot of gambling issues with the youngs these days?
I wouldn't say with the youngs yet. They don't have enough money for that yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Kristen?
My question was going to be, you mentioned what we often refer to as financial infidelity. Is that a big part of what you're seeing? We have the airline. I don't know what's happening. Is that a big part of what you're seeing?
I would say there's typically you're going to have one spouse who's probably maybe the moneyed spouse, but they're kind of in charge of the money. And the other spouse many times lives in ignorant bliss about what people actually have. So sometimes it comes up where either the person who has been running the household either is trying to keep up with maybe the spending habits of the other person that didn't know what was going on, or when a divorce comes to light, it's like, oh, I think we have all of this stuff when in fact we really don't, and whether that's something nefarious or not. But yeah, it's really heartbreaking to be in the midst of a divorce, and for, especially if I'm representing the person that was in the dark and they think there's more there. And it's like we just can't pull something out of nothing. When you turn over all the stones and the marital estate is not what you think it is, it's pretty upsetting. But yes, that a lot of relationships break down because somebody's a saver and somebody's a spender, and they can't meet in the middle on that.
Dame, your wife is a financial genius. I mean, there's no doubt about this. I mean, she's world renowned, at least Northern Indiana renowned, for being a financial genius. Who's the primary money person in your house?
For household stuff?
Yeah.
Me.
Okay. And Kristen,
No, Kristen doesn't do anything with my household money.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Elizabeth, the primary money person in your house, is that a disclosable thing to tens of people?
Yes, that's me.
Okay. I am as well. We do regular check-ins, as one would hope, but yeah, we just sort of have different roles. All right, let's talk marriage. Let's talk when marriages end, when they expire, as some experts say. Where do people get it wrong when a divorce is imminent? Is it trying to represent themselves? Is it like the FISBO of ending a marriage? Like what happens?
Oh, absolutely. That's a big problem. And I wouldn't even suggest that I represent myself, right? Because then you lose all objectivity when it comes to the situation. I think, the number one problem is that people just think, oh, well, it's all in my name, so you don't get any of it, right? That's a common thing that people think. And at the end of the day, the court doesn't care whose name it's in. What I say is everything that you own or owe as of the date of filing, the court's going to take a snapshot of that, and that's your marital estate. Indiana is a state that has a one-pot theory, which means that everything that you have or any debts that you have, they all go in kind of one pot, whatever existed as of date of filing, what was vested, what actually was there as of that day, and we're going to divide all of it. And so people immediately are like, well, she didn't earn it. She shouldn't have it, or I brought it all into the marriage. She shouldn't have it, or it's all in my name. And all of those are wrong.
It is odd that Indiana has both a one-pot theory and a no-pot theory, but that's
Right.
maybe for a different episode. Kristen's face is the best. You have the best face. I mean, kind of a weird thing to say to a colleague on a public platform. Okay. What is it? Is it just 50-50? Like in my head, when I think about divorce, I just think, 50-50. Like, does it ever not 50-50?
It is. So the presumption is 50-50. So you have to rebut the presumption. You can argue off of that, for example, to say, oh, well, I'm disabled, right? You can say, well, I actually interrupted my education or my career to stay home and raise children. I'm getting back in the workforce. I have a much lower earning potential. One thing I haven't found that actually does work is when you are the moneyed spouse, the person who makes more money, they always want to argue, well, I made more money, so I should get more money out of it. And to date, I have not had that be a successful argument.
Is that more of I assume that means that you usually don't play that argument. You're usually defending against that argument, and you're successful in defending against that argument. If you don't believe that ever plays, then my gut says that you never are on that side of the argument.
I'm usually not, because I'm usually like, write the check and make more. You're going to spend more money fighting that in court and probably not being successful. I would say the majority of my litigation, my divorces actually resolve in mediation, because that helps conserve the marital estate in the best way possible and maybe buy some of the risk. So yeah, that's usually not something I try to float.
Elizabeth, does the taxation status of assets ever come into play for trying to decide who gets what? So, for example, if somebody has $250,000 in a traditional IRA versus $250,000 in a Roth IRA, that's not an equal value there, because you're going to have to pay tax on one of them, and the tax has already been paid on the other. So does that ever come up in negotiation on who's going to get what and the value of each of those?
I would say yes and no. I'm like in a real world standard, yes, it does. And of course, we're going to try to hook our clients up with financial folks, certified divorce financial planners about what makes the most sense. But of course, everybody wants those more cash dollars or those, lower tax dollars. But a court is going to look at it like a dollar's a dollar. Right? Because a big thing I'm hearing right now is, I want you to refinance the house and take out, $300,000 and give it to me in equity. Well, the days of taking out 150% loan to value ratio, we haven't been able to do that since the 2000s. Right. So, and especially with the interest rates right now. So, that can be also disappointing when you go to court and it's like, no, they're going to get all this equity that is more liquid, and you're going to have this retirement that will be taxed at some point.
I'm struck listening to you that, like a sales leader, a sales manager, you got to be both the expert, but also the therapist, the coach. Like, is there any more emotional law being practiced than what we're talking about today? I'm sure estate planning in the end can be interesting amongst siblings and generations, but how often do you feel like you're operating as a therapist versus an attorney, or is that part of the job?
I would say it is part of the job. And a lot of times I have to remind my clients there are other people out there with different letters behind their names that are far more equipped to handle whatever you're feeling right now. Like, I can only give you my armchair expert, or, in terms of having done this for, 23 years. But yes, definitely there's a lot of conversations that I'll have, and I'll remind folks, you're just paying me for legal advice. You're just getting this just kind of off the cuff, my opinion. But yeah, definitely there is a counseling aspect to it.
Coming up after the break, more talk on money and relationships right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. Dame, I did that to myself.
You totally did that.
Dame and I were literally looking at each other the whole time. I'm like, what are you doing?
I went over because I didn't look at the clock. Gosh, what an amateur move by me. And I wore this here Fun Dad shirt.
I am so curious. I don't think we have enough time for this. I'm so curious about what the discovery process looks like, because what we see in practice is people don't even know, like, to your point, even the spouse that is managing the finances, the reality is they so often don't even know the full financial picture. How do you even have a discovery process with two people who don't know what should always be in discovery? People don't know what they don't know. How do you do that, Elisabeth?
Well, first of all, there is in many counties, definitely Marion County and some of the donut counties, they have a financial declaration requirement if you're going to go to court. So it's kind of forcing you to kind of go through everything. And I always have my clients give me the statement that reflects that value so that we know where that came from. But I will say once you have two attorneys on a case, and if it is litigation, they will send over formal discovery. Well, you'll get like 25 questions asking you to go back 3 years of bank statements, every credit card you have, 3 years of tax records, so on and so forth. And I hate it with the heat of a fiery thousand suns, but it can be helpful. It can be illuminating. And again, it's a sworn statement of here's everything that we have. I swear there is no more. Of course, I'm always going to have my clients maybe run a credit report, make sure there's nothing else out there that we need to worry about. But yes, there are mechanisms. And of course, there's some people that try to go around the rules and not provide everything they need to provide. And that's where the attorney comes in. But yes, we can do some digging for sure. Mm-hmm.
The credit report's genius. I wasn't even thinking through that lens of if someone doesn't even know what liabilities might be out there. I mean, at least for the last 10 years, 7 to 10 years, you're going to find them. So,
yep.
All right. You guys want to do another one here? Great. You have no choice. Everyone like Dame's new gender reveal background today?
Yeah. I'm trying.
You guys match.
Yeah. I mean, in so many ways we match. Wild men of taste is who we are. Okay, let's do this. In 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show, talking to Elisabeth Edwards from Wanzer Edwards. Frankly, just talking divorce, talking prenuptial agreements. I'm not specifically saying I'm divorce curious, because I'm not, honey. I'm just want others to know how to protect themselves. Elisabeth, there is a sort of a common sentiment around that why divorces or why marriages end. Things around infidelity, relationship infidelity, horrific things like abuse and in many different ways. And then you get into finances. How would you sort of classify? I mean, this is a really dumb question, but from a percentage standpoint, how do you sort of look at the main categories of cause for divorce?
That's interesting. It's certainly a very fact-sensitive pattern. Even though Indiana is a no-fault state, so there doesn't have to be a reason. So no one really has to disclose what really happened. I do always like to ask that kind of white elephant in the room question, because I've been burned not asking that. But I would say generally it's usually not the salacious infidelity things that you think of. Sometimes that's going on, but that evidently for a lot of people is not the last straw, or they'll be like, oh yeah, they cheated the whole marriage, but it was this other thing. So I would say definitely like not being on equal footing when you're talking about money. As I said, one's a spender, one's a saver. The infidelity does come up, but again, it's usually not to the level that you might think. Some of it can also, I think people think we will be more together if we have a kid. And nothing could be further from the truth. If your relationship is already a bit frayed, adding another human being you've got to work to keep alive, and then, including the mental load that you will have for caring for that another human being, that right there immediately, then you're going to have probably someone in the marriage who's feeling taken advantage of, unappreciated, doing all the heavy lifting, and still having to manage themselves, and then the kid and the other parent. This is even in intact families. Oh, well, then they're the fun parent. Because of their work schedule or whatever, they're just not able to be around enough. And so when you start again having this inequality of the household work, that can really cause a lot of resentment.
I've heard someone say before years ago, I sort of took this as my own marriage advice, like to try to apply. But then the more I thought about it, it seems like terrible marriage advice is, take divorce off the table immediately when going into a relationship. And while that arguably has worked for me, it seems like a really privileged idea. I don't actually think that makes any sense. How do you think about that?
I think that's cute.
Yeah.
But it's cute. But no, I don't know how you necessarily can do that. I will say again, as I mentioned, it's easier for people to have a second divorce or a third divorce because they've already done it once, right? I don't know that you can ever take it off the table. I do think that there's some people who maybe throw in the towel too soon. And I'm always one, if somebody says to me, hey, can we put a pin in this because we're going to go to therapy? Great, good. When people call me up and say, hey, we're getting back together, please dismiss our divorce. Great, happy to hear that. Maybe that's not good for business, but that feels good for karma, right?
They were saying it feels good for caramel, and I'm like, no. It's about time people care about caramel. But there's got to be reasons like my husband snores too much. Like you're getting into that category too. Or for instance, and not to get too specific, let's say you've been married a long time and you stand at the bottom of the stairs and you yell up 7 minutes and we're leaving. And then you go 5 minutes and 20 seconds, we're leaving. Like, do those sorts of behaviors lead to divorce?
I would say no. And I'm actually surprised because sometimes people are like, I've been on the couch for 15 years because he snores and is terrible. Yeah. And I'm like, I would have maybe tried to work on a solution before that. But yeah, that's usually not those little things.
Whew.
So you're lucky.
The relief.
I'm riding high. My hair is growing back. I feel good. Is it true that a sign of pending divorce is when your husband starts going to a tanning bed and wears a gold chain? Is that true?
I would say, especially if some weight loss is included, working out. Yeah.
Oh, no, wait a second.
He no longer feels good.
Well, I'm not going to tanning bed. I'm not an animal. I don't want UV rays hitting this lily white skin. Damn.
I'm just saying yet. I mean, there's always tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm joking about obviously the tanning and gold chain, but Elisabeth, I think you really did hit on something here. That sort of fundamental change of being, that fitness journey, maybe a faith journey, maybe whatever journey, an alcohol journey, like those can rattle a marriage.
Absolutely. And especially, and I realize I might be being stereotypical here, but again, just calling it like I sees it. A lot of times men will leave a marriage for someone else. I've seen a lot of that. A lot of women, I mean, yes, there's women that leave a relationship for someone else, but I see more women that just leave a relationship to leave it. And a lot of men can't get past that. They're like, there's no way you'd rather be alone. and then we're spending the whole time like trying to, no, she didn't cheat on you. I mean, again, Indiana courts don't care unless you're spending a bunch of money on that person. But then it's like, really, why do we keep having to defend against that? You can just want to be done.
Yeah, I mean, not to take it too far, from what I've witnessed, just being done with men, not moving on to a different situation, but just like, I'm just sort of done. I'm just done. Yeah. Yeah.
There's the would you want the man or the bear? Right. We've all heard that.
So true.
But there's a lot of choosing the bear right now.
Gosh, Dame's a bit of a bear. He can handle himself. He knows Krav Maga. How much does Krav Maga come into divorce proceedings, Elisabeth?
I really only seen it once, but yeah.
There's always tomorrow.
Always.
Okay. So is there a right way? Is there a right way to bring up the possibility of a divorce with your partner, or is at that point both people kind of know? Do people actually get surprised?
People do get surprised. And I will meet with someone who has been done 2 years ago, right? Oh. The whole like, I really wanted to wait till our kid was through middle school, or I wanted to wait for this thing, and they're just done. And then they're sharing it with their spouse, who is complete shock. And then I will have to talk with them about, they're not as mentally prepared for this as you are. Your pacing is going to be off. They will never move fast enough for you. You will be moving way too fast for them. Let's recalibrate expectations. But I think my next piece of advice, especially to the one who wants it done, is let's not do anything surprising. Don't shut down credit cards. Don't take half the money out of the bank. Don't start closing accounts, because surprise is your enemy for all of this. And so please be having a conversation the whole time, like, let's separate our cell phones now, let's separate our car insurance now, rather than just doing it.
What part of your consultation, with a minute left, covering tattoos of the former spouse's name? Do you guys talk about that?
We usually don't get into that until our next meeting. That's a second meeting issue. Sounds
like discovery to me. Kristen, Dame, 30 seconds left at this point. Any questions for you all before we move on to Boaman News?
I think I'm good. I'm just thankful for her time.
Oh, absolutely.
So lovely. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come back after the break. Biggest waste of money of the week. Elisabeth's going to be a guest guesser. And then the news. All of that is next right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. I love this episode so much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's fun. How about Dame? I don't know about you. I'm literally running through my head of all the things that annoy my wife about me. Like, and she's got a Google Drive that we had to buy more space on that covers this. Are you doing that? Or maybe I'm crazy. Are you doing that at all?
I mean, the list that Sarah has on you is longer than the list that Cassie has on me. So I'm thinking a little bit more about you in this case. But no, I mean, there's there's some, well, maybe that one doesn't count.
Why are we using everyone's government name?
Yeah, why did
really
you use my
kind of
wife's name?
freaking
What's
me
wrong
out?
with you?
Yeah, it was a mistake. Apologies to everybody involved.
I'm pretty self-aware, but that doesn't mean I'm good at addressing the things that I'm self-aware about. I think should we call Mrs. Planner right now?
No.
You just said
No.
What?
that you're self-aware.
How about
I think her biggest beef with me, let's get this out there, got a lot of main character energy, and it's not fun. It can't be fun, right? Number 2, I cannot load the top rack of the dishwasher for anything.
Come on.
I can't. I'm not kidding. Like the bottom I'm okay. I mean, she'll still rearrange the whole thing. The top, it looks like Boo Radley's knothole. I just can't. I can't figure it out. Elisabeth, how often do you see domestic duties as a part of
Emotional labor?
Oh, huge, absolutely. Yeah.
Dame, what does your wife hate about you? Go ahead, Dame.
Well, I think we only call your wife if we have Elisabeth be the one on the phone saying, "Hey, I'm talking to Pete about divorce right now."
She loves Elisabeth. Was she your little sister in the story, or am I making that up?
She was not,
Okay.
but I might have been rush chair when she joined. So, special place in my heart.
What qualities did she have that made you want to make her part of the home? Don't answer that. Okay.
I mean, she's cute as a button. Let's start there. And you know that. You know that.
She's lovely. All right. Well, I did leave her a voicemail our freshman year of college, because it wasn't a voicemail, it was an answering machine message, because this was a different time. Scott Jones had not gotten to work yet. I left her an answering machine message to her and a roommate, and I said something to the fact, I was declaring my love to her on an answering machine message, and I said something like, someday we're going to have babies and they're going to be redheads and do gymnastics. I don't know what I was saying, and I think back on it now, and I'm thinking, it could have been a crime. Like, I think I committed a crime in all of that, but it worked out. Oversharing. All right, let's do biggest waste of money of the week. Elisabeth, I'm going to show an image. I'm going to describe the image, and then you get to guess how much it costs. Okay. Don't overthink it.
Correct.
I don't think it has to be crazy expensive. It's just sort of a moving thing. So Kristen sucks at this.
I was going to say, the good news is you won't be the worst one at this game, because it's me. It's always me. So
Kristen sucks. Dames usually buys these things.
I was going to say, he often knows what they are.
He cheats. And so Elisabeth, we'll see what happens here. And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. This week's biggest waste of money of the week right here on the Pete the Planner Show is first milk. Our first scent memory, the soft embrace of early connection. Delicate and comforting. First milk blends almond milk, tonka bean, French vanilla, and iris with a whisper of pink pepper. It dries down to a cocoon of amber and cypriol. This skin scent melts into the skin with a subtle skin-close warmth. This perfume from the new company costs how much money, Kristen? Milk-scented perfume. It is the hottest trend in beauty right now. I'm not kidding. I read an article about it this morning. That's why I chose it. Milk-scented perfumes. Everyone wants to smell like dairy. How much does this cost?
We can't see the bottom. Is this a small, how much?
50 mils, which is, as Dame knows, a reasonable shot of whiskey.
Okay. This is $170.
$170. Elisabeth with an S.
I'm going to go 150.
Okay. Dame, how much is lactose lotion? Wait, nope. What do you think? Sour cream.
I just want to make sure that I heard you correctly. And they're saying this is trying to replicate one of the first smells or memories that we have.
Tread lightly, pal.
Just making sure. I will say we had 150 so far, and Kristen, you said
170, I think.
I'll go 300.
$125. Dame, what's in the news this week?
Well, let's just kind of stick with the trend that we've had over the first three segments, not the BWAM. The U.S. fertility rate hit a record low last year, with the number of births per 1,000 women of childbearing age falling to just 53.1. Not sure how they have the 0.1, continuing a slow but steady decline since 2007. One potential reason for the slump is
I know. Slim fit jeans.
Oh, you should stop wearing those. Is how expensive kids can be these days. A recent Lending Tree study revealed that it now costs over this much to raise a child in the United States to age 18.
Oh, I always love this. This is like the Thanksgiving dinner to prove inflation. Like it's like the turkey and the stuffing and the therapy. I'll go $437,000. Kristen?
Can I just have the over?
Okay. Elisabeth, do you care to guess?
Because I love a good Price is Right and you don't go over, I'm going to go 400,000.
According to Lending Tree, $303,000 to raise a child in the U.S. to age 18, because as we all know, kids don't cost any money after age 18.
Kristen, do you think, this is where I always have to ground myself in that things. Do you think people make decisions on bringing children into this world based on money?
I do think that. I think that the later people wait to have children, the more they're having that conversation in earnest. Lots of our friends, we're in our early 30s, are having their first children, are intentionally saying 1, maybe 2, but not more than that because of the financial strain.
Yeah. Dane, what else is in the news?
The U.S. Mint released a special Steve Jobs dollar coin for America's 250th anniversary, which, okay, cool idea, Steve Jobs on a coin, I guess makes sense. California, innovation, Apple, changing technology forever. Here's where things get weird, Pete. You can buy a bag of 100 Steve Jobs $1 coins for...
Oh, I love it. I'm going to go Costco style, $87.50.
Okay, Kristen?
Oh, that's interesting. I was going to say that they were more because of him. I was going to say like 120.
Remember, these are minted by the U.S. Mint. These are legal tender. So you're buying $100 of coins for 120 for you, Kristen, 87 for Pete. Elisabeth?
I'm going to go for 101.50.
$154.50.
I win.
If I had a restaurant to compete with like Zaxby's or Slim Chickens or Cane's, I would call it legal tenders.
I like that.
I need to buy the domain before this hits the web, because that is unbelievable.
There's no way that doesn't already have.
I'm not Googling legal tenders or barely legal tenders at work. James,
if you were lucky enough to get a job at OpenAI a few years ago, you're reaping the rewards, and not just by befriending AI before it takes over the world. The startup recently allowed each of its employees to sell up to $30 million worth of shares. Well, okay, 30 million. How many people could actually take advantage of that? 75 past and present employees took advantage of being able to sell the entire, at least $30 million of their payout, while over 600 employees raked in a collective $6.6 billion from the sale.
Pretty old stories of like, I was the first so-and-so at IBM and now I drive a Honda Civic or whatever. Like all those stories like that. This is the modern one, Kristen.
Indeed, this is not that.
The University of Michigan was one of the first big investors in OpenAI.
Really?
They contributed $20 million in one of the earliest funding rounds. It's worth over $2 billion.
So tuition's getting decreased here in the fall of 26?
Of course not.
Elisabeth, as I think about this here, you hear the stories of things go well early, or you take a chance early and they go well later. That's got to come into play in divorce too, is that like modest start to a career and then some career takes off, and then the person wants the divorce, and then that impacts the settlement, right?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, if anyone's spouse worked for OpenAI, be careful. What else, Dame?
I mean, sticking with the theme again today, wedding season is kicking off. And if you're about to marry a massage therapist, you might want to reconsider. An American community survey recently took a look at which occupations have the highest divorce rates. Massage therapists, bartenders, bus drivers, and vocational nurses came in at top with a whopping 48% of the people employed in those professions separating from their spouses. The profession among the least divorced? No, not radio host.
Oh.
Actuaries. I guess that makes sense. Giving their job
they're not married.
Risk. But if you marry one of them, the bad news is you're spending the rest of your life with an actuary.
Elisabeth, do you see anecdotal patterns in profession? Or you don't? I mean, I don't know. Do you?
No, but I would say I have not had a massage therapist as a client. For the record.
It's probably what I brought up on the show a couple weeks ago. The massage therapist thing. Yeah. Bus drivers, what are they doing? Like, what are they getting thrown under the bus is what it sounds like.
It's traveling across the country.
Occupational nurses. I mean, I'm writing novels in my head about this stuff.
It's a Lifetime movie for sure.
Oh, it is. I would totally watch that. Who is starring male lead in occupational therapist divorce on Lifetime, Elisabeth? Dean Cain? It feels very Dean Cain. If you can get him.
Well, but if you want to appeal to the younger set, you got to throw Jacob Elordi in there. I could see him being very, very caring.
Very caring. Dame, anything else?
Kevin Warsh, the next chair of the Federal Reserve, been talking about it. He won by the slimmest vote ever.
That's confidence-inducing. Good inflation numbers this week. Hey, keep it up, everyone. Everything's going great. All right. I think that's it. Elisabeth, thanks for doing this. This was fun. It's been a long time, but thanks for doing it with us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Love it.
All right. Dame, thank you. I say that out of obligation because of the awkwardness of thanking someone else that's on the show. So, Dame, thank you.
I understand.
And Kristen, hello. No, thank you to you as well. You can always email us, askpete@petetheplanner.com. We will read your question on the air. They're sort of stacking up in the email box, so the next few episodes are lined up. Sending you good vibes because good vibes are all that's in the budget. I'm Pete the Planner, and this is the Pete the Planner Show. Oh, exhale. Oh, it's like when you leave Zubilation, and then you can finally unbutton your pants and go, oh, I ate so many sliders. I don't really go to Zubilation, but that's how I feel. Dane, we've not talked about Zubilation on this show in a really long time.
It was like a topic one of the first years I was working with you, and I don't think I've heard about it since.
All right, for those that we can catch up, because we have new listeners. And Kristen, have you and I ever discussed this?
I feel like I don't know anything about this.
Great, perfect. And Elisabeth, of course, knows everything about this. But I'm also about to never get invited to Zubilation again. I just, what is about to happen? And feel free to just bow out of all of this, you guys. Zubilation is a fundraiser for the Indianapolis Zoo. Mm-hmm. A lot of zoos have these sorts of things, and it is a black tie event, usually on a day in which hell has made its way to earth. It's 480 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's a black tie event, and it's very hot. And a bunch of really nice restaurants in town come, and there's food stations, and you pay one big ticket price, and you just eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want. It's like a big soiree. I've always found the irony in all of it is that it is a non-vegan event. Now, I am not a vegan, and I do not hold the ethics of a vegan, but I would suggest eating animals in front of animals to raise money for animals is a bit on the nose. And I just don't understand that. It's like you're standing in front of like a Japanese cow exhibit and you're eating a burger. Just feels tough. Anybody else, or am I like, this seems crazy to me.
That's a new thing I hadn't thought of, but terrible.
See?
Not getting invited anymore.
Totally different kinds of animals. It's fine.
So as long as it's not penguins.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Okay. Well, Elizabeth, for everything this does for your career hereafter, I'm sorry. Things were going well for you. And thanks for doing this. This was fun.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Damon, Kristen, good luck with your lives. Everyone else, stay getting money.